50th birthday present ended in divorce papers. My mother-in-law Jocelyn never wanted her precious Anthony to marry anyone, but especially not me. From the moment we met, she looked at me like I was gum stuck to her shoe. A retail worker from the wrong side of town who somehow tricked her baby boy into dating me. Our first family dinner was an interrogation. 2 hours of questions about my job, my education, and my family. She kept sighing and shaking her head at my answers. When I went to the bathroom, I heard her tell Anthony he could do so much better. He just kept eating his pasta, pretending not to hear. Every family event after that was torture. She'd introduce me as Anthony's friend, even after we got engaged. She'd forget to set a place for me at holidays, acting surprised when I showed up. Once she threw away my winter coat while I was in the bathroom because it looked like donation quality. I had to drive home in February freezing. When I got pregnant, she completely lost it. She called me screaming that I'd ruined her son's future, accused me of poking holes in condoms, called me a gold digger trying to trap him, which made no sense because Anthony was a middle school teacher making $42,000 a year. What gold was I digging for exactly? The wedding was a nightmare. She wore a black funeral dress and sobbed through the entire ceremony. During photos, she kept pushing me to the edges, trying to get shots of just her and Anthony. At the reception, she gave a speech about losing her baby boy that made everyone shift in their seats. When our daughter Nora was born, Jocelyn got worse. She'd visit and stare at the baby, making comments about how she didn't look like Anthony. She kept suggesting DNA tests, told her book club I'd probably been cheating. She actually brought paternity lawyer pamphlets to Nora's first birthday party. But the moment that broke me happened at that same party. I was in the kitchen getting the cake when I heard Jocelyn in the living room with Anthony. She was crying, but this time she'd come prepared. She pulled out actual divorce papers she'd had drawn up. She said she'd pay for the best lawyer, said she'd help him get full custody because I was clearly unfit working overnight shifts. She kept repeating that I'd trapped him, but she could fix this. Mommy could fix everything. I stood there holding my daughter's birthday cake, watching my husband's mother try to destroy my family at a 1-year-old's party. That's when I decided to destroy hers. I started researching Jocelyn's past. She loved telling everyone how she saved Anthony's father Daniel from his wild party days when she got pregnant at 19, how she turned him from a party boy into a responsible family man. But something didn't add up. Daniel had already gotten into Yale Law when Jocelyn got pregnant. Full scholarship, big dreams of being a civil rights attorney. Then suddenly he's dropping out to marry his girlfriend and work at his dad's hardware store. I found Daniel's college roommate Hector on social media, bought him a few beers and heard stories that made everything click. Jocelyn hadn't been some innocent girl who accidentally got pregnant. She'd been planning everything. Hector remembered her showing off a calendar with her fertile days circled in red. She'd bragged about her plan to lock Daniel down before he left for law school. She knew he was going places and wanted to make sure she went with him. But the real evidence came from Jocelyn's college roommate Nina. She kept a diary back then, and Jocelyn appeared in it constantly. Stories about her ruining her birth control on purpose, bragging about trapping Daniel with a baby, direct quotes about how he'd thank her later when they were rich from his law career. I invited Nina to Jocelyn's 50th birthday party as my special surprise. The whole family was there. Daniel's parents, his siblings, all their country club friends. Jocelyn was holding court in her designer dress when Nina stood up to give a speech. Nina pulled out her old diary and started reading. The entry from March 15th, 1993. Jocelyn bragging about poking holes in her diaphragm, planning her pregnancy to the day, laughing about how Daniel had no idea what hit him. The room went completely silent. Anthony's face drained of color. Daniel stood up and walked out of his own wife's birthday party without a word. Jocelyn tried to say Nina was lying, that the diary was fake, but Nina had brought photos too. Pictures of young Jocelyn holding up her birth control with holes poked through the packaging, making a peace sign and laughing. The divorce happened fast. Daniel had suspected for years, but hearing it confirmed in front of everyone broke something in him. Jocelyn lost the house, lost half the retirement money, lost her standing at the country club. Most importantly, she lost control over her son. Anthony finally saw his mother clearly. Every manipulation, every lie, every controlling move suddenly made sense. He understood why his dad always looked so tired in family photos, why his dad never talked about his dreams of being a lawyer. These days, Jocelyn calls begging to see Nora. I allow supervised visits once a month. She sits in my living room, the same one she said wasn't good enough for her son, and follows my rules. No comments about paternity, no divorce papers, no crying about being a victim. Last week, she finally broke down and admitted everything. She sobbed that she just wanted what I have, a husband who chose her. I told her the difference was that Anthony actually did choose me. Daniel never got that chance. She can't look me in the eye anymore. The woman who spent years calling me a gold digger and a trapper was just looking in a mirror the whole time. And mirrors never lie, even when you've been avoiding them for 30 years.